the moment when I did a personal best. This is when I was 31.
Just recently,
just 2
right?
years ago. I was just questioning myself, like, what have I been doing the past 20 years? I'm a national swimmer. I swim for Singapore, and I have been swimming for the past 20 years. People naturally would choose academic over sports. Now, for sure, it's more prominent. It's the decision that I have never regretted once in my life.
You were in the pool at 5:30 most mornings, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. I've only switched up my training program in the past 2 years, and that's actually when I swim my best.
Of course, because it's specialized for that. It's optimized.
Would I say I was in love in the past? I really cannot remember.
Yeah.
And I would only have to believe that I am, because if I'm not, I wouldn't have
Why are you doing
continued swimming.
Yeah.
Right? Because no one's forcing me to do it.
Having someone that believes in you and
Yeah.
supports you and
Yeah.
understands you is so important. It's
Yeah.
rare as well, right? So if you
It's-
find it, you should grab it with both hands.
What I've heard from
Everyone.
everyone outside, it's an insane job.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, like, how am I supposed to balance consulting and swimming at the same time?
Amanda, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me here.
I really appreciate you coming, and I've been a fan of yours for a long time. so what I want to do before we unpack your amazing journey, if I can just get you to do a quick introduction, and then we'll turn back the pages of time.
Okay, sure. Well, I'm Amanda. I'm a national swimmer. I swim for Singapore, and I have been swimming for the past, I'd say, about 20 years. Started competitive swimming at the age of 10. Started to learn how to swim when I was 6. I had childhood asthma, so naturally, the doctors would be like telling my parents, bring your kids to the pool, it will strengthen your lungs, and that's actually how I got into swimming and just kept swimming till 20 years later, I'm here, still swimming.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And but what a lot of people may not know about you is that apart from being a competitive swimmer, you work full time, so you balance it out, right? So what are you doing for work?
I am trying to balance it out. I have not actually found the perfect balance yet, but I'm on my way there. So I am actually a senior consultant in Ernst & Young. I am in the people consulting service line,
Okay.
where people consulting basically just means human resource consulting. So I've been on a few projects around human resource management, restructuring.
How long have you
things
done
like
that for, the people consulting side?
But funnily enough, I actually started in EY,
Okay.
actually November 2024. And coming November this year, I will be with them for about 4 years already. But I started out with them actually only as a part-time consultant.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem.
So that opportunity came up to me just like this. And then I was like, wow, like, do I really want to do consulting? Because like stereotype, what I've heard from
Everyone.
everyone outside, it's an insane job.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, like, how am I supposed to balance consulting and swimming at the same time? So, but I really do want to try it out, because at that point in time, I was actually looking for a new job. EY wasn't my first corporate job. So my first corporate job was actually in Fullerton Health.
I remember. What did you do with
Yeah.
these guys?
Yeah. So for them, with them, I was actually doing the corporate product development. So I was in this team where we design corporate products for corporate companies, because we have a lot of corporate insurance. Like, they're very good for that. The medical benefits, right? Like the medical benefits that corporate companies have for their employees.
Okay.
So I was designing like products for these corporate companies. And at a point in time, it was during COVID. So then there was a lot of like online webinars, like all this kind of stuff. And then like, at a point in time, I was thinking, like, do I want to do this for the rest of my life? Although I was very interested in what I was doing, because I'm very interested in healthcare.
Of course.
I actually wanted to become a doctor when I was in secondary school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like my dream.
Okay.
Maybe partly driven by Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character?
Oh, I actually don't have a favorite character.
My
I
wife
just
is in love
it.
with Gray and
Meredith
Christina.
Grey.
That
Christina.
that relationship.
That dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I just have a natural. I'm just interested in the human body. So then naturally I drifted towards that, and then drifted towards a healthcare company.
Yeah.
And then I asked myself whether that was something that I really wanted to do, because it was fun, but it wasn't that challenging in a way for me. And then when this consulting job dropped on my lap, and then I was like, wow, someone's really giving me something that's very challenging now.
Yeah. But how did it come about? Was it just, you knew someone or?
Yeah, I knew someone who was working in EY at a point in time, and then he made an introduction.
But you know what I love about that they were open-minded, because sometimes people are not, right? And then you had the courage to go through that door.
Exactly. I think that's what EY is actually very good at. So in my team, funny how you said this, because I was just in a workshop on Thursday, and there were, I think, about 3 people that is in the same team as me. And then there was this other girl who was not in the same team, but she was also a senior consultant. So it was actually just a workshop for like senior consultants. And then she was asking how she could come over to our team, because that's actually what she was doing. And then she was very worried that she wasn't trained in HR. And I was like, look, I have a sports science degree.
Yeah.
I have 0 HR training. I have 0 consulting background. And then funny enough, the other 2 people in my team also said the same thing.
Wow.
They were like, we don't have any HR background as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I drifted towards trying that out.
Yeah.
And when I had my first conversation with the partner, he was, I guess there was a good vibe. And I felt like he was there genuinely wanting to help me progress in my career, bearing in mind that I also have my swimming journey that I want to achieve as well. So like I was like, okay, let's try this part-time.
Having someone that believes in you and supports you and understands you is so important. It's rare as well, right? So if you find it, you should grab it with both hands.
Exactly.
Now, what I want to do is I want to unpack the journey when you went into the Singapore Sports School. How old were you, and was it a big decision? Because at that point, you're making a decision: am I going to go the typical Singaporean academic route or this route? Walk me through that process and the conversation you had with mum and dad at the time.
Yeah, I know that. Well, that is. I guess we have to go back to maybe when I was 11.
Okay.
So it's a big thing, right? In Singapore, there's the National School Games, and that's actually when people start to scout. I guess athletes for like the secondary school, and then you have the DSA and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when I was 11, these schools started to scout for me because I was winning at National School Games. So Singapore Chinese Girls' School. Actually, I wanted to make a switch to go there when I was 11. But why there? Because I had my brother as well. He was swimming pretty well back then as well. So he was getting scouted, and he wanted to go to ACS primary, and SEGS was just next to it, right? And it was just easy for my mom to send us to school basically.
Together, yeah.
Yeah, but I decided not to go because I was thinking, like, I was 11, like, why do you want me to go to a new primary school and, start all over again?
Yeah.
The whole making friends. And I only went to like a normal neighborhood school. First Toa Payoh Primary School, because I stay in Toa Payoh.
Okay.
That school is basically just below my house.
Okay.
And when the school bell rings, and that's when I leave my house. So I was like, why do I want to give that up?
Yeah.
Right?
Why would you?
Yeah.
You didn't want to go to CHIJ then? Obviously not.
Yeah, I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
Because I was 11 and I was going to change. I was going to go into secondary school in like the next year anyway.
Yeah.
And I guess I enjoyed being the only swimmer in that school as well.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty special. And so when I was 12, obviously I had to make the decision on whether I want to go to the sports school or just a mainstream school. But the question, I guess what actually made me go to the sports school was my father. He basically said, well, if you want to continue swimming, you go to the sports school. If you don't want to swim anymore, you go to a mainstream school.
Wow. So that was quite decisive.
So it was, I guess I didn't see it. It didn't feel like an ultimatum to me. My parents, they lay their hands off my swimming and my school, basically my life, my brother and I. They let us make our own decisions whenever
By the way,
Actually, 99% of the time.
you know why I
Yeah.
want to unpack that? Because I've got 3 kids myself, and I think it's a real challenge, like how involved you get, not get
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
And I think, I want to touch upon this because I think sometimes if you have some wins as a young child,
Yeah.
it gives a lot of confidence. Like you said, you were the only swimmer in the school and it carries through.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's so important that kids at a young age get some victories
Yeah.
in whatever they're doing. It could be art, it could be sports,
Yeah.
music. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So when your dad said that, then what?
I guess I decided to go to the sports school. But
Yeah.
I guess it helped because I had friends who are already there
Okay.
and who are going there. But at that point of time, it was still a very big, I wouldn't say stigma or stereotype, but people naturally would choose academic over sports.
Yes.
I would say not so much in the past, but it's still a little bit in the past. We're talking about like 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Even now.
Yeah, like
Even
now
now.
even more for
Yeah.
sure. Now for sure it's more prominent, but in the past, even though it's not so significant, that there's still a little bit there. But honestly, it's the decision that I have never regretted once in my life.
Amazing.
Yeah, I had fun.
And then so
much fun.
you were in the pool at 5:30 most mornings, 6:00.
Yeah.
Because what people don't understand, right? I used to swim, and I didn't like it because I swam 3 times before school,
Yeah.
3 times after school, and Sunday was technique training. I was
Yeah.
10 and 11,
Yeah.
and the thing about swimming is you're looking at a black line most of the time.
Blue line, yeah.
Blue line, right? For mine, it was black.
Black.
It was really black and it was dark in there. But I remember thinking, well, like, do I really want to do this? And I think you have to fall in love with it.
Would I say I was in love in the past? I really cannot remember.
Yeah.
And I would only have to believe that I am, because if I'm not, I wouldn't have
Why are you doing it?
continued swimming.
Yeah.
Right? Because no one's forcing me to do it. That's for sure. My parents weren't forcing me to do it. But now looking back, I kind of knew why my father told me that, because the swimming training, it's very demanding.
Big
right?
time.
Big time. It's just the culture around swimming all over the world.
Yeah.
So swimmers go through 10 swim sessions a week.
Yeah.
So that's morning and afternoons on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays. So in the morning, it'll be 5:30 a.m. to 7:30. In the afternoons, it will be around 6:30 to 8:30, depending on whether you have school or not. But in secondary school, I would dare say that every swimmer is going through the same routine right now.
Yeah.
They train in the afternoons from probably 6:30 to 8:30. And then on top of that, you still have to go to the gym.
Yeah.
On top of that, you still have to go to school. You still have to do homework. And then you still have, I'm pretty sure you have tuition.
It's full on.
Yeah, it's just full on. And I guess in the past, I specialized pretty early. So I didn't have the extra piano lessons, gymnastics, or whatever. Which is probably, I would have loved to have done gymnastics, when I was young.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the most well-rounded of all. It's really they're the most amazing athletes. But the one thing with Singapore that I don't agree with is that you have to specialize quite early. Like you're not allowed to try many different things. And I think there is an artist, an athlete in all children at whatever level.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need to just find out and try and fail, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Exactly.
But in Singapore, what I noticed with my kids, it's like you've got to choose quite early. You're only allowed 1 or 2 disciplines, which I always felt was sad because you should, most people are not going to go on and make a living for this. Why not have fun and play multiple sports?
Yeah, I think that mindset is slowly changing.
Okay.
Like even with the sports school, they have this thing called the Multi-Sport Academy now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which they just introduced probably, I would say 1 or 2 years ago, because I was back at the sports school this year.
Yeah.
And they were, announcing so many like new and exciting pathways, which I wished, we had this when I was there.
I love that.
Yeah, like they tied up with all the universities in Singapore. They have the Multi-Sport Academy, and obviously they have the specialized academies, which makes me feel like the Singapore government is trying to move in the right direction that is optimal and the best for the kids these days.
Yeah.
But of course, like with government policies, it comes with red tapes and it takes time. It's just that sometimes, we don't have the time to wait for these policies to be set in stone, right? Yeah. So I do see the improvements that they're trying to make. And
because why I find it so interesting, it's like so one of my high school best buddies who's now working with me in the coaching business, he was a 2-time Commonwealth gold medalist as a gymnast.
Yeah.
And I talked to you about him, and he at one point could have gone the route of track and field athletics, football, cricket, or then gymnastics.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how did you make your choice? And he said, well, I was in the national team at 11 and 12, and that was it, right? And but I said, which one did you enjoy? And he said, I actually enjoyed athletics more because, like with swimming, it's definitive. Everything else, it's like your gymnastics, it's based on subjectivity. The judges are scoring you, and that's difficult. Do you know what I mean?
It's difficult.
It's very difficult. So talk about the physical training and the rigor of it. When did you start doing strength and conditioning training? How old were you?
In the gym?
Yeah.
I would say definitely by 13.
Really?
Yeah, definitely by 13. But even when I was 10, 11, when I was like training competitively, we were doing, land training, dry land exercises, like super a lot of core exercises. And at that point of time, I had China coaches. So can you imagine the China style
Full
of
on.
training?
What were they like? Militant?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just know that I was doing so much kilometers in the pool.
Yeah.
I would say...
How many warm-up laps would you be doing? 30 laps or something?
A normal session would be 5 kilometers.
Really?
That's 100 laps.
And the crazy thing is you're a sprinter.
I wasn't a sprinter then.
You weren't? Okay. What were you doing then?
Actually, now that you were talking about specializing early, I didn't really specialize early.
Okay.
I mean, swimming, for sure. I specialized in swimming.
But in terms of distance?
Yeah. I was doing the 800.
Okay.
I was doing all the events. I swam 50, 100, 200, 400, 800 freestyle.
Wow.
I did the 200, the 400 individual medley. I even swam the breaststroke.
Yeah.
I think I did all of those right up to 20.
So when did you realize I'm a 50 girl?
Yeah, I think I only specialized... I would say 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like...
And how did you make your choice? Is it like you felt this was where you were the best in terms of competitive?
Honestly, I felt like I was just tired and I just didn't want to do like...
I don't blame you.
endurance training anymore.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But it's a different type of training when you're training for the sprints, right?
It's very different.
Yeah.
I mean, I am only learning that it's very different now. In the past... I've only switched up my training program in the past 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, and that's actually when I swam my best.
Of course, because it's specialized for that. It's optimized.
Yeah.
Because, like when I was a sprinter, the difference between running the 100, 200, and 400, actually, most people only did one discipline.
Yeah.
And because they're so different. So that's why we have guys like Michael Johnson that ran 2 and 4.
Yeah.
And what they did. But that's staggering only in the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing.
I wonder would you have been even better?
Oh, that's the question I ask myself every day.
Yeah.
Especially the moment when I did a personal best. This is when I was 31. It
was recent.
2024.
Yeah, it was just recently,
just 2
right?
years ago. I was just questioning myself, like, what have I been doing the past 20 years? But then
What's your PB? 2506. What is it?
Right now it's 2494.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when did you do that?
2024.
Oh, you did it then? Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to qualify for the Paris Olympics.
Yes.
Yeah. So I didn't qualify, but I had a personal best. And then that race, I was just like, am I feeling happy or am I feeling sad?
Yes.
Am
It's hard, right?
Hard.
What was the qualifying time?
24:81.
Yeah, so tough.
Yeah. I was just like 0.1 away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And I
so
did it
tough.
twice. So it was, I remember it's 2024 during the Singapore Nationals. Actually, Singapore Nationals is going to happen again in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Did it at Singapore Nationals, did the 50 meters freestyle, wanted to qualify for the Paris Olympics, did 24:94, and I was like, oh my God. And then I was just like, I remember I was just changing out of my suit, and then this club coach came to me, and then he was actually, funnily enough, he was actually my first few China coaches in Singapore.
Okay.
It's just that he has just progressed on to coach at other swim clubs. But anyway, he has been around. And then he came to me and then he was like, Amanda. I mean, he said in Chinese, so I'm just going to translate it.
Okay.
It's like, let's go, another 50. And then I was like, huh? What do you mean? And then just do a time trial.
Yeah.
You know, they can get it sanctioned for the
really?
for qualification.
Wow.
And then he was like, you have nothing to lose. And
I
then
love
I was like, really? Yeah, I haven't warmed down. I've suited out. You know, my mind's like all over the place. And then I was like, okay, sure. So I called my coach in Australia, and then he was like, look, mate, why not? It's like, you have nothing to lose, right? Just go and have it. Just have another shot.
Yeah.
And then an hour later, I suited up, and then I went again in the same meet.
Yeah.
I did the exact same time.
Wow.
This is 24.94 again, an hour apart. And I was like, okay, this is it. Like, I have nothing left in my tank.
Yeah. But it's, I want to talk about the whole psychology because it's so, let's put this into context, right? You've won 21 Southeast Asia gold medals.
Yeah.
And the sport's unforgiving because,
Yes.
you know, if you look at a global level, whatever number you've been at,
Yeah.
if you were to say globally in the world,
Yeah.
you were that number in any discipline, as a doctor, as a lawyer, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
But in sport, it almost feels like
It's nothing.
It's
It's nothing, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, but when you look at your career, do you look back at it with pride? I know you're still swimming, but you know, I hope you do.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I look back at it with pride, but also what I see is like there's a lot of struggles.
Yeah.
It's very tiring, and it's really not a journey anyone can take because you really gotta know what you love and what you want out of it, because there's so many times that you can just give up.
Yeah.
And honestly, since 2015, I've been saying that I want to retire. At every SEA Games, you know, I would see my past competitors. They've moved on to become swim coaches of Thailand, Malaysia, and they would still be at the meet, but you know, as a coach, and then they will ask me like, "How? Like, when is your last one? You know, the last one. You keep saying that's the last one."
But I
and
think
that's
you feel you've got unfinished business almost.
honestly, why I continue to swim and not retire is I just feel like I'm just not there yet. And there's still so much improvements that I can make in my race to be better.
Yes.
And the fact that I've only been swimming and performing my best in the last 2 years.
That says a lot.
Yeah, that says a lot to me. Like, why?
When did you go to Australia?
2 years ago.
That's why. So
That's
if you start to analyze it and you put it, and now you're swimming with the world's best 50-meter freestyler.
Yeah.
How can you not improve?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
It's just
what
that
a unique opportunity.
yeah, it's the opportunity. The opportunity is one thing, right? And really understanding the science behind how you want to train so specifically for your race matters a lot.
Of
And
course.
yeah, and I think you need to be of a certain age, and you need to have gone through the experience and the journey to be able to do that.
I agree.
And even for me now, I'm still learning how to optimize the kind of training that I'm in to fit me.
Yeah.
Because it's not a one size fit all. Like, I can tell you
For sure.
this works for me. So that's actually how I am working with Cameron McAvoy, right? The guy that you were talking about just now. He just broke the world record. We are of the same age-ish. He's 2 years younger than me.
He's an Olympic and world champion.
Yes.
So he won the world champs here, right? In Singapore.
Yes, he
last
did.
year.
He did. And he just broke the world record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, he just became the fastest man in the world.
So let's break it down, right? Because I've analyzed this, you know, myself when doing sports. For example, in boxing, there is a weight, right? So you have to weigh in at that weight, and most of us would lose weight. But in swimming and running, there isn't a weight. So the goal is to find your optimum weight for power and speed. And what I realized, like one of my favorite athletes growing up was a guy called Jonathan Edwards, who's still today the triple jump world record holder.
Okay.
And I think he broke the world record in 1993.
Okay.
And the next year, this was my observation, he became a bit faster and a bit heavier. And he never repeated that performance again. So he was faster, but I always wondered if it changed the balance and the dynamic of what he was doing. So have you worked out, okay, this is my optimum weight so far? Tell me about that. I want to geek out on your thought process there.
I think, am I still finding my optimal weight? I kind of know my optimal weight now. I sit around 60 kilos.
Which is probably a lot heavier than you were, like 10 years ago? Because when you get older, you put a bit more weight on, right? More muscle.
Probably, yeah. I mean, if you're comparing 10 years ago, probably I'm heavier. But a lot of people would think lighter is better, right?
Yeah.
Especially in swimming.
Yeah.
And it kind of proved to me that it's not.
Yeah.
Because last year in Singapore, the World Aquatics 2025, I was on a pretty tough project at work a few months before the race itself.
Ayo.
At UI.
Okay.
It was pretty tough. I would say it was one of the toughest projects that I've been on. I was very stressed out. It's honestly my first, I would say it was my first full project as a senior consultant. Probably, yeah. Probably why I was feeling so stressed out. I was just like venturing like a whole new area, and I lost a lot of weight from that.
The stress.
Yeah, it was from the stress.
Nights.
Late nights, the stress. I couldn't eat, just no appetite to eat. I just constantly have so many things running through my mind. I couldn't sleep. I think I raced at Worlds in Singapore at 56 kilos.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, but I felt really good in the water.
Wow.
But why did I feel good? It's because I was feeling very light. So that naturally felt like, wow, like I'm moving.
But you got a personal best the year before.
Yeah.
So what was the difference then, time-wise?
It was a bad time. I swam very badly at Worlds in Singapore. And after that, I sat down with my coach in Singapore and we were like, I just don't feel strong at all in the pool. Like every stroke feels light, but I don't feel the power and the strength from it.
Yeah.
And he agreed, and I agreed as well. But most importantly, I have to be the one that believes that was the thing that I need to work on. So after that, we actually went on a strength block in the gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So my strength and mobility coach is from Portugal.
Okay.
I hired him on my own. He's actually Cam's coach as well. So that's how I got to know him.
By the way, let's talk just that one moment, because most people don't understand. Like if you take most professionals, they won't necessarily engage a coach. And what they don't understand is like you're doing this and you're paying this out of your own pocket.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And you're trying to find the best people in the world.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that is actually, I feel like that is what sent me over the edge to do my personal best. So in my event, the 50 meters freestyle, 25 seconds is the barrier to break.
Yeah.
Once you're under it, I've done so many 25s in my life.
Yeah.
In my life, especially like 25-0 something.
But going under, it's that magic mark.
Yeah, it's the magic mark.
Yeah.
So I would say the only time I did that was when I invested in myself. I paid for my own coaches. I think that gave me the accountability on my own because I'm spending my own money, right? And I'm looking for the best people in the world to make myself better.
And there's no excuses now. Like now you're all in, right?
I'm all in, yeah, exactly. So in the past, it's always coaches from the club in Singapore, or I know our national team coaches. I'm not trying to say that they're not good.
Yeah.
They are good because they got me to where I am today.
100%.
Yeah, it's just that I was in this spot whereby like you said just now, like I was ranked nowhere in the world. I was good in Singapore. I was good in Southeast Asia. Actually, I wasn't even good in Southeast Asia. Like I lost 2 of my gold medals in 2021 and 2023. So I was just like, I just kept swimming the same times over and over again. They are good, but they're not good enough to get me somewhere. So then I was like, something needs to change because I'm doing the same thing all over again and again for the past 20 years. Maybe it's just I just need to do something completely different.
Yeah. What were the fundamental changes in terms of the training?
I think Australia for me was a very big change in terms of training program.
Okay.
I was in a very specialized. Okay, so I was based in Australia for 6 months in 2024. So one of my very good friends from Hong Kong, she was training in Australia then there for the Paris Olympics. So I basically told her, I was like, hey, do you think your coach would want to take me in his group? And she asked, and he was like, yeah, come over. And within like 2 weeks, I was there. And bearing in mind, this was 2 weeks after I got the news from the doctor that my father got diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer.
Oh no, so sad.
Yeah. So that was when I was like, wow, on one hand, I was balancing I'm chasing my Paris Olympic qualification. And on the other hand, I was like, my dad's sick. Like, how sick is he? At a point in time, it hasn't really hit me that, like, I just didn't know, like, what to do.
Yeah.
Because
So
do I
tough.
go away?
Yeah.
So I basically asked the doctor and I was like, look, you just gotta let me know how serious this is. Like, can I go to Australia and train, or do I have to be in Singapore? But he actually said that, well, Australia is not that far away, and if your father opts for treatment, he has time. But if he doesn't opt for treatment, he probably has like 6 months. So then obviously he opted for treatment, and I went. I think maybe also with that over like on my shoulders, that gave me more intent and purpose to be in Australia, to make time, to make sure that I'm spending
Really
worthwhile
working.
time there. And yeah, so I think that really changed. It's just the whole change of pace in my training. Just new perspective, just new coaches, because I've just been doing the same thing for so long.
Yeah.
Just something different.
It took a lot of courage, Amanda, and especially in the face of your father's illness, right?
Yes.
I admire you so much for that. And then, and you're going in, pardon the pun, but with the big sharks. You were swimming with the big sharks, right?
Yeah.
And that in itself has got to be scary. But if you want to operate at the best level, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I was spending my own money.
Yeah.
Because I had no funding. And when I go to Australia, it's just on my own. And I was very lucky at that point of time to have a private sponsor. He is actually Mr. Ong Boon Si. They own a construction company.
Okay.
It's an Ong and Ong construction company, and they supported me from, I would say, mid 2024, because I was looking for funding to go overseas to compete.
So it's so
just
tough.
to qualify.
So tough,
Yeah.
Because the thing is, as an
It's so
athlete,
tough.
you in order to compete, apart from the training, you need great nutrition.
Yeah.
You need massages. You
Yes.
need, you need to travel.
Yeah.
Accommodation when you're going to events. It's just it's so much.
It's so much, and just having like this benefactor coming in to help me at that
So
point of
lovely,
time.
yeah.
It was so lovely, and it was no questions asked.
Okay, amazing.
He bought me tickets. He bought me business class tickets.
Wow.
And he just transferred me cash into my bank account. And he was like, look, this is what I have for you. Just go and do what you have to. And I was like,
What an amazing person.
yeah, but the thing is, this is what I like about. So the thing is, getting sponsorships is super difficult in Singapore, right? Because we don't have the culture for it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the cold hard truth is that I cannot guarantee you a medal.
Yeah.
I cannot guarantee you a marketing, media. I cannot guarantee that.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was so willing to help me,
Yeah. Selfless.
it
Did he have a love
kinda-
for sports?
he does.
That's the thing.
He actually built a sports school.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well,
Yes, exactly. So I think that was when we kind of vibed a lot.
amazing.
He himself he scaled like so many mountains. He does the, what do you call those? That you have the wings on the shirt and then you like fly through the valleys.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's a Red Bull kind of trip,
Yeah, he's like
he's doing the
a true-
parachuting and
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I need to know.
Yeah, we'll come back.
So he's actually top in Asia or something.
Really?
Yeah,
He's
for
mad
this.
as well, because that's
Yes.
really scary.
Yeah, he's mad.
In the best possible way.
Yes, he does all the craziest stuff, jumps out of planes and stuff like that. So I think he resonated with me.
What an
And
amazing guy.
yeah,
I need
and
to meet him. I want to meet him
yeah,
because that sounds very powerful. Because you know why? People like that, I think um, Singapore needs people like that.
yeah,
Because we're such a small island, but
yeah,
I do believe that, because there's a lot of people. Like, I had UK Sham on the show, and I didn't know his story, and I realized like if he actually entered, he had a quite notorious reputation. But when I spoke to him and I found out, he said this thing that was really, he had a difficult childhood, so he stayed on the track so he didn't have to go home. And people don't realize these things about you when you're young, and you've got a lot of pressure on you, and it's so hard.
yeah.
So let me just go back. So the training, did your strength and conditioning training change? Did your technique training change?
It has changed so much.
Give me a
So
few
it has
points.
changed so many times over the past 2 years
Really?
because I was finding the right type of method for myself.
Love it.
Yeah. So 2020. Okay, let's start from the time when I went to Australia.
Yeah.
I was someone that was very how do I say? I don't even know how to describe myself. I was either 100 or 0.
Mm,
You want me to go 100%, I will
yeah.
give you 100%, I will sprint and I'll be done.
okay.
But we can't really have that in swimming.
Yeah.
We have to operate at 98%
Okay.
because of the water.
Yes.
Because we can't fight the water. Once you
Yes.
fight the water fights back, and that's it. You don't move.
Yeah.
So in order to move with the water, you need to be in that flow state, right? That I'm still trying to find. You need to, basically for me, to be at 97, 98%. So what changed for me in my strength program is I stopped lifting heavy.
Mm,
I stopped hitting reps to failure. I was just lifting with rhythm, lifting with
I love
tempo.
that. With rhythm and tempo.
Yeah.
Amazing.
and how I can translate that into the pool.
Yeah. Because that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's got to be functional and relevant.
Exactly. So that really worked for me then. And then I continued on that kind of training program into 2025. And then I realized that, hey, it's not really working anymore.
Yeah.
Because I guess I found that sweet spot. And now it's back to lifting heavy. Because I kind of know how that flow state should feel like and how I need to translate that into the pool.
Yeah.
So now I'm back on the heavy lifting part.
Are they filming you underwater and from different angles? Like because when I was running, I would go to Loughborough University and they would measure everything.
Yeah.
And they would see your stride length and pattern, and
Yeah.
so break this down. Like, are you looking and analyzing?
Yeah.
Should I be breathing every 3 breaths, 2
Yes.
breaths?
Yeah, so in the national team in Singapore, we actually do have all this sports science support. But 2
Okay.
years ago, because I left the national team,
Yeah.
I train on my own.
Yes.
So I actually don't have that access to that sort of level of sports science. Although I still do get video analysis.
Yeah.
At the pool that I'm training at now, we have very good facilities. I train at the Tanglin Trust School actually. But obviously, because now I hire my own coach, I train one-on-one with him. He don't have time to be doing the videoing. If he's coaching me, if he's videoing, he can't see what I'm doing. So when we are together, we don't really get a lot of video feedback. But we do schedule like 1 day of like video analysis. But when I go down to Brisbane, for example, I just came back from Brisbane. I have the privilege of using the facilities at the Queensland Academy of Sport.
Okay.
And they have such good facilities there. They have, I think it's a 4-lane, 25-meter pool. And it's just used for video analysis.
Yeah.
Cameras.
Amazing.
Yeah, just cameras set up in the pool underwater.
Yeah.
And it's seamless.
Yeah.
Instant feedback on the
Wow.
on the screen. And even their diving blocks, it's called the Kistler blocks. It measures your force. It measures your horizontal force, vertical force, grab force.
Because especially
like
in 50 meters, you can't, split seconds are left just off the board, right?
Exactly. So whatever you generate off the blocks is going to be the highest force, highest velocity. It's just how well you hold them through the whole 50 meters.
How long before you have to come up? There's a distance, isn't there?
Yeah, you have to come up by 15 meters. That's the rule of swimming. But
Okay.
I get up at the 9 meters just because I'm not great underwater. Like my strength is my swimming speed.
Okay.
So I am still trying to be better from. I would say I'm pretty good off the blocks. So what I'm really, really working on now is the moment I hit the water with my hands.
Yeah.
Just that I would say from 5 to 10 meters. Just that 5 meters, like I'm trying to make that
Perfect it.
just maybe 0.3 faster,
Yeah.
0.2 or 0.3 faster.
Because it's just, I'm such a big sports fan. I went to the Tokyo Athletics World Championships last year.
Yeah.
And I got to sit behind the start line. I only got tickets for that behind that 100-meter line for the men and women. And for the men, the Jamaicans were out of the block just so much faster. It was millimeters, right, in milliseconds, sorry, in terms of time.
Mm-hmm.
But, unless they fell over, they were going to win that race. And I was just thinking, just working on that part alone is
Yeah.
significant.
Yeah.
Do you know, for example, how many strokes to the end?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All that's the thing that people don't realize. They probably have no idea how much, your breathing patterns.
Yeah, for sure.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I know exactly how many kicks I have to take. I know exactly how long I have to hold underwater, the number of strokes, when I have to breathe, how fast to breathe. So I used to not take a breath in the 50 actually.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the big change I've made in my 50 meters freestyle ever
sure.
since I went to Australia.
And how many strokes are you changing? Breathing, sorry.
I take about, you mean breath?
Yeah, when you're out.
Just one breath.
Just one breath.
Yeah, I take one
Amazing.
breath at a 29 stroke.
Amazing.
I take 44 strokes.
And do you have to think consciously about like how your hand pattern, and keeping it? Because I've seen some swimmers with their fingers open, right? And
That just comes naturally, yeah.
But shouldn't you have your fingers closed?
Not really.
Really? It doesn't make a difference?
You want to have a little bit of space,
Yeah.
because then it creates a web,
Yeah.
and then you can grab.
oh,
Because if
really?
it's too close,
Yeah.
and you can't be swimming like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit like a web, like duck
Yeah,
web
yeah,
feet.
like that.
So you need.
Wow.
It just creates it's just physics.
But you're the thing is, you still have a very feminine figure, very strong athletic figure. But I saw you posting 2 days ago. You were doing 5 pull-ups with 20 kg plates.
Yeah,
With 20 kg plate, and that is pretty significant.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I think for me, I've always been very upper body dominant. So pull-ups has always been one of my strongest.
How many can you do without a plate?
I don't know, because we just
You don't max out anymore.
Yeah, I don't do body weight pull-ups anymore, but
Yeah.
I think depends on how strict
Yeah.
you want my pull-ups to
Yeah,
be. As
true.
long as my chin's over the bar.
Someone said to me when I was in high school, I was in pretty good shape, and someone said, "Oh, you're in fantastic shape." And my friend Kanukai said, "No, he's in fantastic shape. I'm in okay shape." So like, I remember in my heyday, I could do 45 pull-ups, which is pretty impressive. He could do 85, and it's
In one go.
in one go.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a gymnast. It's just,
Yeah,
but it's all relative, and you realize it. And the great thing about sports, and I find actually most sports people, even though we're very competitive, we always recognize other great athletes. And I always think you can learn so much from them.
Yeah.
And like in business now, I remember years ago, my then business partner, I said to him, "I think I'm the best at what I do." In Asia, maybe the world. And he said, "You don't know that." I said, "Of course I don't know that." And it's impossible to really find out because we all serve different clients.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no real measurement like in a race. And then there was an Asia Money ranking for headhunters.
Okay.
And I thought, I'll throw my hat into the ring. I'd never done it before. And then I came second in my industry and then 10th overall. And it's subjective because it had to be a managing director level of seniority to vote for you. Right. So in some ways it was a popularity contest, right? Like how long have you been around? But anyway, a lady that won it was based in Hong Kong, and I'd heard amazing things about her.
Yeah.
And I actually wrote to her and then called her to congratulate her.
Yeah.
And I said, "I'd love to take you out for a glass of champagne just to celebrate whenever you're in Singapore next, or when I'm in Hong Kong next." And we became friends.
Yeah.
And one time one of our mutual client, we had a mutual client, saw us together, and they were quite shocked because they thought we would be
Competitive.
yeah. And I said, not really. I mean, and you don't see it like that. Do you know what I mean? As a sports person,
Yeah.
you just you know, like sometimes you share locker rooms with your competitors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, I guess being athletes, you kind of need to know when to switch on, like your competitor mode.
Yeah.
I mean, firstly, like we don't get a lot of friends,
Yeah.
right? Because we're just always spending time just training. And
Training and
honestly,
training
the
and
people,
training.
and the people that we hang out with are literally our competitors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's also funny how you said that, because I recently chanced upon a Instagram page, a profile of this girl in Singapore. I think, I don't know how old she is, but I saw a profile. She's like a part-time dentist, and like she does like calisthenics, and she's like 50 kilos, and she's doing like 40 kilos dips.
Really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
I tried myself. I've only
serious.
managed to go like maybe 30 kilos.
Yeah.
And then I just dropped her a text on
Say respect.
Instagram. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah. Amazing.
I was like, hands down to you. Yeah, crazy. Like,
Yeah. Serious.
I
It's
told her
very
that I'm a
serious.
big fan of her for like
Yeah.
lifting so heavy. And then she
I love
was, and she was really honored, you know. And what she said was, she's very honored to be recognized by like a real athlete. And then I was like, a real athlete?
Well,
What does that mean?
because you're doing it at that level.
Yeah,
And it's,
yeah.
but it's I
Yeah.
love that. You know, what I wanted to ask you was, at what point did you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to pursue this, and therefore you know that making money is
Yeah.
going to be difficult, and that's the challenge that I faced, right? And then at what point did you realize, like, I'm going to stick with this? Because I would imagine every year you're probably questioning how much longer I'm going to do it. But when you're younger, like when everyone else is going off into the corporate world,
Yeah.
what was the conversation you were having with yourself and your parents?
Honestly, I've never ever have this conversation with my parents.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, actually, all the more they really wanted me to stop swimming, but they weren't coming from the point of view whereby like I'm too old, I should just go get a job and not think about swimming anymore. But they were coming from the point of view whereby like they see that I'm so tired every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they don't want to see that I'm so tired every day.
Yeah.
So they know that it's my decision. And I think for me, I've always just found ways to work around it. Like I've just always somehow managed to work it out. Like if I have no funding for this trip that's coming up, you know, somehow I would still make it there. Be it like, oh, you know, my ex Australia coach has an empty house sitting there, and he's willing to let me stay in it for free.
Wow.
Things like that. Like
Wow.
that was me last year before the SEA Games. Actually, I didn't have any funding, and I knew that I wanted to go to Australia because I needed that 4 to 5 weeks in Australia, because I knew that I had SEA Games coming up in 2 or 3 months, and my dad has just passed away from the liver cancer.
Yeah.
And it was a lot like leading up
So
to it.
much. And you dedicated your last gold medal
Yeah.
to your dad's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
Congratulations.
yeah. So somehow or rather, I've always like get there.
Yeah.
And then, but through this somehow, you know, I've really had to try to look for opportunities outside, like to just to talk to people, get a job.
So let's talk about that. So
try.
you've had sponsorship in the past, like NTUC, Milo, right? No?
Yeah.
Not really? Okay.
I mean, Milo was, I think it was a sports school thing. They
Okay.
sponsored the school, and then, you know, they probably just
Because to get sponsorship, I would imagine, and you know, that's why people have agents. But you know, your sport is not like a professional football or a basketball, or we can have a fancy agent.
Yeah.
So just getting sponsorships takes time.
Yes.
So people want to reach out to you to do speaking. I said this to you off camera, and I meant this because I meet very senior people every day.
Yeah.
You have a charisma and aura about you in person.
Yeah.
I'm serious. As soon as you walked in, I thought, wow, very powerful. So I'll put all the details so people can reach out to you. But have you started doing some corporate speaking now?
Yeah, I mean, I've done quite a few corporate speaking.
Wonderful.
I've done events for actually my own company, of course.
Okay.
I've done some with GIC, with this company called IPP Wealth Management at UBS.
Amazing.
Duracell. It's just that these opportunities doesn't come often.
Yeah, and they're one-offs normally, right?
Yes, they're usually one-off, and there's so much stories that I would love to share, and I feel like they really do resonate with people, especially in the corporate world. And me having been in corporate world itself, also, I would also love to have an agent. To have someone, like you say, it's a full-time job. Like I know that I need funding, and I know that I have things that I can offer, but I just don't have the bandwidth to be out there selling myself.
Yeah. That's the most frustrating thing for you must be, and for any budding athlete, is that you have this talent.
Yes.
But so if you take away the worry about raising funds, and even the time that is involved in doing that, how much better can you be? Because for me, that my challenge was, so when I was 14, my dad had a stroke, and at 17, my mum said, we were a single income family. She said, honey, you might have to drop out of college. And it was a Friday night. She was in tears. And my mum, I'd never seen her in tears. She was a tough woman, right? And she said, you need to get a job on Monday, and it's got to pay you at the end of the week. And I went to, in England, where I grew up, there were the equivalent of maid agencies, high street employment agencies.
Okay.
And I went to one at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I said, have you got a job starting today, but pay me on Friday? And they said, well, we have a job as a toilet cleaner. So I said, yes, please, I'll take it. And they started laughing. I said, why are you laughing? They said, well, no one says yes, please. And how I fell into recruitment, I've been in it for 31 years, is 3 months later, I was handing in my timesheet, and the phones were ringing. And I said, good morning, HMS Services, how can I help? And then the boss there said, what the hell are you doing? I said, I'm picking up the phone, you idiot. What does it look like? Because, where I grew up in London, you've seen this in Australia, everyone's got banter. And I went, I wouldn't say the easy route because I cried about it, but I've decided I've just got to pay the bills. I've got to help mum and dad out. Do you know what I mean? So I feel for you. And that's really why I wanted also to have you on the show, to share that. So I will try to connect you with people. And I think that's big. Talk to me about this next part of your journey, because when you eventually finish swimming, do you know what you want to do? Do you want to stay in this consulting line long term, do you think?
I actually want to expand sports consulting in Ernst & Young.
I love it.
Yeah.
What would that look like? Have you talked about it?
That might be a secret.
Yeah. Don't go into it if you can't. But that would be really cool.
That's one of my dreams, actually. I've had that conversation with my partner and my counselor, even the MD in EY. They know that I have big dreams, but obviously, like, getting there, I don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
So my boss at EY, he is actually one of my very good mentor. No questions asked. Every time when I need to go, when I tell him I need to go on sabbatical to train, which I need to have that conversation with him again, because July is when I'm going to go on sabbatical to train for the Asian Games.
Okay.
Yeah, but honestly, that's one of the goals that I have.
Good.
And
I love it.
Yeah, but on top of, I don't know, I feel like I'm doing a lot of things, but on top of that, I want to help just young swimmers.
Well, tell us about some of the charity work. So you do something with Teresa Go, don't you? And some other,
yeah.
Well, tell us about that. And you've helped over like 200 athletes now, youngsters.
You mean from Hard Work?
Yeah.
Okay, so Team Hard Work actually came about a few years ago. It has been pretty dormant.
Okay.
We haven't really been doing anything since then, just because during that point of time, we had a lot of attention on us. And I feel like maybe at that point in time, it was the end of the financial year. So when like a group of us, like we're talking about 5-6 of us, all athletes, right, are going to approach corporate companies to tell them that we want to do charity work, they were actually a lot of companies in Singapore love to do charity work. So for example, like NTUC, they would give us like a budget, and they would say, just go to the biggest fair price that in Singapore, just go pick up whatever you want.
Really?
And it's all free of charge. Things like that. And then Milo will be sending us like bags and bags of like Milos, even rice, canned stuff.
Yeah.
So actually, I think we only did one of those this charity initiative, but we want to kickstart that again. But the problem is my group of friends.
Yeah, they're all busy doing things.
Just all over the world.
Yeah,
Like I have
that's
one in
the thing.
Japan, there's one in Australia.
It's so hard.
And then it's so hard to coordinate time right now. Like we would love to do it. What I do for my charity now is I'm actually pretty close to the president of the Cat Welfare Society.
Okay.
You have cats, right?
I've got 2 cats, 2 dogs, yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 cats. I
Okay.
had 2 cats, now I have 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
One of my cat passed away last
no.
2024 when I was in Australia.
Okay.
It was so sad.
So sad.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what?
So sad.
We adopted these 2 cats. We never had cats before.
Yep.
And then Socks, our boy cat, he died on the table when he was meant to get castrated, right? Or spayed, sorry. And they resuscitated him. I don't know if it was negligence or not. But then he was in hospital for 3 days.
In Singapore?
In Singapore, and then we were told, oh, he may not got his eyesight back. And my wife and my youngest daughter, they were in bits because they're in love with him.
Of course.
And he's taken over the house, right?
It's the first cat?
Second cat.
second cat.
But like he's just got this really big personality.
yeah.
But fortunately, he's okay now.
Okay.
But for 3 days, it was like we were all crying. It was very sad.
It's very sad. Like I can't explain the feeling, but if you're a pet owner and if you lose your first pet, that's like that first
It's
pet
horrific.
love is
Yeah.
crazy. Like I've never cried so much alone in bed. I
Yeah.
was just like crying on my phone because
Yeah.
I was ready to buy a plane ticket home, and my
Yeah.
mom was like, "Just don't. Like
Yeah.
you come
Well, you
back.
can't
or
do
not."
anything,
Yeah, I
right?
can't do anything. Yeah. So anyway, so cat welfare.
Okay.
Whenever my friends need help to send like cat food to other cat fosterers around Singapore, I
Yeah.
would just do that.
Wonderful.
Yeah, just that's I feel like that's what I can give right
Yeah.
now. So whenever she calls, I'll try my
You'll
best
help
to
out.
Yeah, I'll help out.
Can we just unpack your mental framework, right?
Okay.
Because you've won 21 gold medals. You've been competing for over 20 years. Walk us through what you have to do in terms of mental prep, but also to stay not just motivated but disciplined, like day in, day out. Walk us through your routine.
My routine these days are I swim 4 times a week.
Okay.
I go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, and that's on top of my work. So it really depends on my work as well. So what I do is it's kind of crazy because, for example, I don't know whether normal people do that. Okay, I don't know whether I should say normal people, but as athletes, but we always sit down and look at our season, right? And plan out our season, like when do we want to race, and then we work back from that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I plan my work and my swimming, how I kind of balance them. So like this year, I told myself that the front half of the year would be work focus.
Yeah.
I still train, but work comes first. So if I move my swimming around for my work, but the second half of the year, I move work around for swimming.
I love it.
Yeah. So I believe that no one can operate at 100% on 2 things at the same time. No, like something has
to give.
Like something needs to give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and on top of that, you need to do the rest and the recovery and stuff like that. Especially when you're older, that's even more important, right?
Yeah.
So I'm at the phase where I'm slowly moving into the swimming comes first before work, but I'm still at the work kind right now. Like this week, I had a mandatory workshop that I have to attend at work. I told my coach I was supposed to train that day. I was like, I can't train today. Can we like do another day? And he's like, sure, it's your program. You tell me when you want to do it. So now I have a lot of accountability over my training program now. I think that helps to give me the confidence to compete. Because I know like at every session, I've achieved what I want every session and I'm moving in the right direction. But it took me a long time to get here. Last year, it was like a shit show.
Why?
Every day at training, I was feeling bad. I was so tired. I was angry.
Yeah.
I wasn't swimming fast.
Yeah. Well, you were going through so much last year, right?
Yeah, it's just and also like going through a new program. But I won't necessarily know that when I'm in that phase because I am going through that.
Yeah.
Like even sometimes, even though I know that it's a phase I have to go through, but I still get angry. I get really angry.
Do you?
I get really angry in the pool.
What do you do like when you're angry? Do you shout at yourself? Do you
Uh,
scold yourself or other people?
I would take it out on my teammates.
Yeah.
But
But you know, as sports people, you see that a lot,
yeah.
right? That's what we don't realize.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't have any teammates now. I'm training alone.
So what do you do? Are you shouting in the gym,
Yeah.
in the pool on your own?
Yeah, so I go down deep into the pool and I just shout.
Really? I love it.
I'm so frustrated.
Guttural. Yeah.
Because I can't be angry at my coach.
Yeah.
Because my coach knows that I'm angry.
Yeah.
You know?
But you know what? That makes you human. I love the fact
Yeah.
you touch upon that. Because like I haven't shown you, my gym's back there, and I can't go to a commercial gym properly because I like to pump my music up, my music, and I want to scream a little bit when I'm angry
Yes.
or frustrated or
Yes.
pumped up.
Yeah.
And after a while, the anger it disappears,
Yeah.
and then it changes.
Yes.
Talk to me about like how do you talk to yourself when you're saying, "Listen, I've got to get pumped up." You know, how do you do it? What do you say that you can repeat? Come on, girl, you got this. What do you say?
Honestly, when I'm in that position,
Yeah.
my mind is pretty much blank.
Okay.
You know, it's
Interesting.
it's like full of nerves.
Yeah.
I mean, you never not get nervous. You never not get stressed.
Yes.
The pressure never goes away. The pressure is there even more. It's really like just believing in myself. Like what I do before I get out onto the blocks, I just blast music so loud in my earphones that I can't even hear my own thoughts.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You're a savage.
yeah,
I love it.
I just don't know what I'm thinking.
Do you feel to be a winner you have to have real killer instinct?
Yeah.
100%, right? Yeah.
100%. You need to
100%.
have killer instincts, and you need to. And I'm a real competitor as well. So you put someone that it's about the same speed as me,
Yeah.
or
You want to go. You want to race.
I just want to like win.
Yeah.
That's all. And that was what was going through my mind in SEA Games. I knew that I have to win.
Yeah.
I knew that it was gonna take a fast time for me to win.
Yeah.
And at that point of time, I didn't know whether I could do it because I wasn't prepared for the SEA Games race actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we move back, just a few more steps, I was telling you that after the August, the World Champs in Singapore,
Yeah.
I basically made a decision that I need to go back on the strength phase because I was too weak. I lost too much weight from my project.
Yes.
And my coach and we decided to go on a 6 months strength block,
Okay.
which
6 months is a long time.
yeah. So this May,
Yeah.
it's probably maybe nearing that 5th or 6th month, or September, October, November, December.
And you're feeling powerful?
I'm feeling strong. I mean, I'm feeling as strong as I've ever been.
I love it.
So
I love it.
okay, so in the swimming phase, right? Usually, what people always go is strength phase, strength power. Then you introduce the speed, and then you taper. I don't know whether in your sport you taper, but basically you rest down.
You have
for
to.
a bit.
You have to.
Yeah, but I didn't do any of that for SEA Games.
Oh, really?
I was deep in my strength block.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't go through any power phases. I didn't go through any swim specific phases. I was just like attacking in the gym.
Yeah.
And maybe a week before my race, I deload in the gym. I went there and swam. Good time.
Interesting.
So can you imagine the amount of thoughts that was going through my head? Because number one, it's a preparation that I've not done before.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just knew that I have to race. Okay, this is what I want to say. I think what helps me get through every race is I always think about my strength and not my weaknesses.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I think they focus on sometimes
weakness too much.
Yeah, and it's almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
Like my wife has always thought I'm overconfident, right? And because I always think, no, I can do it. I can. And she says, where does that come from? And I do think because you have to be a bit delusional as a sports person,
For sure.
because otherwise you're trying to accomplish something you've not accomplished before.
Yeah.
And I really find it very interesting to hear other people's psychology because the truth is you have to be a bit of a maniac. You've got to be like, come on, you can do this. And every time you're trying to set a personal best, because the reality is if you're improved. So I remember when I went, just before I set up my own company, I said to my boss, I have asked the CFO to print off every company record. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "The smallest deal, the largest deal, the fastest placement, the most number of people placed." And I broke it down and I said to him, I'm going to laminate all of them and put them on the walls. And once I've eviscerated all of them within this year, except for the slowest deal, you have to make me a partner in the company. And he looked at me and he said, "You're mad. Well, we don't do this." I said, "You are doing it, and I'm going to break all the records." In my mind, it's the same, right? It's just you've got your
Exactly.
personal best in the gym.
Yep.
What's the difference at work? But I love that. Now let's just talk a little bit about, as a woman, have you gone through this period of, body morphia? And, because my daughter said at one point, she's 17 now, "I don't want to work out too much, Dad. I don't want to put too much muscle on." And she's got past that now. But have you gone through all those different, challenges as a young athlete and as a female athlete?
I think I was lucky enough to not have the body image kind of negative thought in
Yeah.
my mind. But obviously, I get looks on the streets because I have broad shoulders, especially if I'm wearing a dress.
Yeah.
Arms are bigger. But honestly, I take it all in. It's like, if you want to look.
Love it.
I've trained for it.
Good for you. Good
Yeah.
for you.
Because I was just changing at home that day and I didn't close my windows. And then, I wasn't totally naked, but my mom was like, "Don't you want to close the windows?" And I
Yeah.
was like, "No, if you want to look, just look."
Yeah. I love it.
I wasn't totally naked.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm also very comfortable without my clothes because I'm always in my swimsuit.
Of course.
But I think
Good for you.
genetics plays a very big part. Not everyone gets muscular.
Yeah.
Like for me, I can lift 1 rep of 40 kilos pull up, but I don't think I look like someone can do that. Do
Yeah.
I?
Yeah.
Like, I don't look like massively big, even though I'm pretty big compared to a normal.
Yeah. You're
women.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what a lot of kids have not taught, like the difference between an ectomorph, an endomorph, mesomorph, and how it all changes.
Yeah.
But why I do think it's important is because, actually the funny thing is, if you look at bodybuilders, they always say, I look too small. I've got to put some weight on, and so we all go through these different things.
Yeah.
But I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
You're one of the darlings of Singapore, right? And you really should be celebrated. I know you are, but I think on an even higher level. So any projects that you're working on now, that just to wrap up, that you can talk about, apart from the next SEA Games is when is it?
Next year.
Okay, so you're starting to get ready.
I've
more?
I've actually told the media that last year's SEA Games was my last one.
Okay.
Yeah. My last year's SEA Games was my 10th SEA Games.
Yeah.
It was actually just a feeling that I got. Like, I didn't think about, that's like, this is going to be my last SEA Games when I was like going there, or like when I was preparing for it.
Yeah.
But it was just like a few days before the race. I don't know why. I just suddenly had this feeling that I think this is it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Who are the top 3 athletes, any sport, that you truly admire, female or male?
At the SEA Games?
No, just when you look at other athletes and you think, I really admire those people.
Admire meaning like a role model.
Could be a role model or people that you look at and you think, it doesn't even have to be in swimming. I'm just curious.
Lindsey Vonn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she's such a beast.
Yeah, she is.
Especially like her last few skis.
Yeah, she is.
I don't know whether I would do that if
Yeah.
I was in her position.
Yeah, she's a nusser.
Yeah, she's crazy.
Yeah.
This is really insane. And also I'm someone that's very scared of pain. That's why, like, like boxing, UFC, like, I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be the one running away from the punches.
Yeah. Don't get hit. That's what I say. Don't get hit. But yeah.
Yeah, Lindsey Vonn for sure.
Okay.
Tom Brady.
Okay. Yeah. Amazing. And he's interesting because, like, he wasn't the most genetically gifted, but psychologically, he kept working on himself. I've seen all these videos recently on how he used to walk and run vis-a-vis how he did later on in his career. He changed his gait. He changed his everything.
Yeah.
And then give me a third one.
It's difficult. I don't have one, but I will tell you when I have.
It should be you.
Myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I look up to Cameron pretty.
How could you not?
Yeah,
And
I look up to him. Honestly, everyone always asks me whether I have a role model that I look up to in swimming. For the longest time, I won't have that answer. You know, why? Maybe because like obviously I aspire to be like them, right?
Yeah.
But for Cam, I feel like is maybe because I know him on a personal level as well.
Proximity helps.
Yeah, and I see the way he do things, how he thinks about his training should be like all these little things are so precious to me when I go over to Brisbane.
Those nuggets of wisdom, right?
Yeah, it's just being around them, just on pool deck, like the things they talk about. It's just so different. Like they really want it and they really want to get there. And the things that they talk about, it's just so specific that normal people would think that we're just crazy.
Yeah. But you're not, you're obsessed, you're geeking out about those smaller details.
Yeah. But I think at this point of my life, like I want to be very good at what I'm doing for swimming, because I think there's still a long way to go in terms of improvement. Whether or not I will stay and, see that through is one thing, because
You've got to stay healthy as well.
yeah,
in
like
your
just
age,
gotta see like how my body feels when I'm tired.
Of course.
And it's the feeling, right? But right now I feel like I can be better. Like the moment I feel like I don't want to race anymore, that's probably when I would call it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely would want to swim for as long as I can at my very best for Singapore.
Yeah.
Next year SEA Games, not sure if I'm gonna do it. I don't know. Like I just want to see how I swim at Asian Games, because if I swim a good time, it just proves to me that whatever that I'm doing is working.
100%.
Right? And this period of time, like the past 1 year, I've placed a lot of emphasis on my life outside of my sport.
Good.
That's why I was more involved in work. I want to make sure that my family gets my time as well.
Yeah.
And, I'm no longer young. Women, I start thinking about whether I want to have kids.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I want to have kids, like technically I need to be having them soon-ish.
Yeah.
But then again, you can't really have kids if like I've not really met the right one.
Yeah.
So that's probably like, oh my God, this is like a dating
No,
show.
but it's a massive part of your consideration. Like Alison Felix is coming back, trying to make another Olympics, and she's had, difficult deliveries of her babies, and it's a big thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're talking about it.
Yeah.
Because it's part. Think about it. Even if someone has a corporate career as a professional woman, they still have to consider it. But you have to consider it in a completely different way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I admire you tremendously.
Yeah.
I think you've got an amazing career thus far. There's more to come, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, there's more to come, but I feel like why, people is like asking like, why am I not dating and stuff like that? But I'm just like, I haven't met the right one. People like my mom, like she would just, I mean, obviously I've dated a few guys and she'd be like,
just get married.
Yeah.
She's trying to marry you off.
That's what she wants. But I'm just like, but I don't feel, I don't feel like the chemistry and like what you said just now, like the people that you bring into your team, in your world, they have to complement each other.
100%.
They have to be supporting me. I have to be supporting them. They have to like the family, my brothers. There's so many things to consider, right?
It's a lot. And look, if you meet someone, I think you know, when I met my wife, within a week, I thought this could be one. After 2 weeks, I thought I want to marry her.
Yeah.
But a little bit of luck goes a long way.
Yeah, probably that. So maybe, like things are pretty fluid now. Like for example, let's say if I meet the love of my life, maybe next week or something, or like the next month, and then for sure, okay, and then like you want to have kids, sure, and then I obviously will not be swimming anymore. But if I'm still single, like no one's coming in my life, why not?
Good. I love it. I love the way you think.
I don't know.
Good for you. Well, look, Amanda, thank you for your time. It's been lovely. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me, Paul.
Cheers.
Yes.